Hello and welcome back to my garden for a spring tour, which is completely overdue. I know that. For those of you who never saw any of my videos, my name is Daniel. I live on the south coast of the Baltic Sea. I used to work as a fashion designer, but now I really focus completely on garden design. And this may be also why I really love to tour you around and show you my garden, just to share some inspiration with you and maybe some ideas and plants that you can introduce to your own garden as well. Since we are now in the middle of May and I'm here at the south coast of the Baltic Sea, excuse me, we're in the front garden, so there is a street behind you. So this is why I tried to make it short here, so we have it a little more peace and quiet in the back of the garden. We are at the south coast of the Baltic Sea, which means I'm in the climate zone 7B. So regardless where you're watching, I think quite often your garden will be 2-3 weeks further ahead at this time of the year. Only in about June, I'm picking up suddenly, and then I'm pretty much where you are. So let's just continue. Let's walk through the garden. This is the side of the front garden, and the front garden kind of suffered a little bit, unfortunately, from last winter. We had quite a harsh winter here. We luckily had a lot of snow. We had about 40 to 50 centimeters of snow, which protected most of the perennials, because we had temperatures during the night that could plummet down to minus 26 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much it is in Fahrenheit, but it is cold. Trust me, it's definitely cold. It was too cold for me. And we had that situation for about 7 weeks in total. So after 7 weeks, the snow finally started to melt. This is why here there are some gaps in there. I had Mediterranean euphorbia, which I was always heavily relying on as a winter structure. Gone, all dead as a doornail. I have offspring, they are that size at the moment, so I'm a little bit questioning if I will bring him back here or not. It's still a little iffy at this point. Two of my favorite shrubs gone to Vitex. Blue Diddley, I think, was a variety. I love those purple flowers. I knew when I planted them it might be a little difficult for them when the winter would be that cold and strong. But I'm kind of thinking, okay, I only lost two. They're not crazy expensive, and this was the coldest winter since, well, I don't know, decades really, I think for 20 years or so. So I personally think it's worth being like, okay, you know what, I lost two of them, I'm still going to bring them back because I really love those flowers. It's one of my favorite shrubs here. One thing I want to show you, because I think it is very pretty and beautiful, is this little ensemble here. We've got the hostas just coming with fresh leaves. This is a variety called Patriot. It has a leaf variegation. It comes a little creamy white, and as it matures, there's weeds growing here, by the way, too. They will go really crisp and white. Then we've got tulips here. I used to have only Twilight Princess in the front garden, but they're not really selling it anymore. So I have spring green now, which I think is pretty cute as well, in combination with the Persian lily, which I adore. I put them in various locations in the front garden, only the green variety. And I really think that they are stunning. They come early in the year, they give you structure, and they're kind of like the promise of a good new garden year for me. So I really want to put a few more of these into this part of the garden. And there's also a really dark purple variety of that one too, which I want to introduce into the back of the garden. So I think just maybe also for a smaller garden, this is just a really nice, cute ensemble color-wise. This is more partially shade, so this is why the hostas here are still very small. In another area of the garden, you'll see already more leaves. So let's just continue and walk through a little bit. You see, these euphorbias, luckily, they were pretty much covered in the snow. This is why they survived. This is Ascot Rainbow. It has a leaf variegation, so if you just come closer, the front garden focused on color combinations of purple and yellows, but more like acid yellow tones. And I think those leaves are really stunning. Also these like really acidy yellow flowers. I just love that the little actually the flower is a tiny dark dot in the middle, but it matches the stem of this euphorbia variety. So if you think about introducing an evergreen euphorbia and you like yellow or yellow-green, this is definitely one for you. Absolutely love it. If we just continue walking, you see the Lunaria is in bloom here. This is a biennial, so they get these little seed pods here. They turn silver and then they rattle later on in the year. Maybe I think most people just really know it from the dry seed pods later on. But I just love the flowers. I think they're very cute as well. And it just finds its way naturally through the border, which I allow it to do, because that gives a momentum of whimsical and dreamy. Oh, Alfie is here. Say hello to Alfie. Hello. She's going to say hello to you, but she's more interested into her ring. This is what's going to happen. This is what I can do with her all day long, and we're going to do it various times. I also lost the sumac tree here. It always provided a good structure, but I don't think I lost it necessarily to last winter. This was already for the chop for the past 2 years, I'd say. It really just fizzled out a little bit. But luckily enough, the shrub in the back already grew and provides a nice texture and structure. So things come and go in the garden, and that one unfortunately decided to leave. One of the things that I've updated, and I finally managed to plant it up, this is just a little first sneak peek, and later on I really want to show you how it looks when it comes more to life and to bloom, is the entire area at the deck terrace. So last year I came out and I just extended the size of the bed, especially here over there. So I just have more depth and I can just really pack more perennials and plants in there, grasses, shrubs, everything. Roses as well. And color-wise, I want that this area is focused on cool colors, cool pastel colors, a little hint of white too, but I have real icy blue. I have blue delphiniums. It's a German variety called Sommerwind, which translates as summer wind. So quite easy to understand for all the English speakers, I guess, too. I've got Persicaria here, which is a variety Misty Morning that is going to flower in a very pale, pale blush tone. I've introduced some roses. This is Florence de Lattre, which, as a lot of roses, it starts to bloom in like a mauve color and then it's supposed to fade away into a, well, rose tone. This is quite cute too. It doesn't look like a lot yet, but this is more like a ground cover. This is Langsworth, and it is again a German variety, Blaue Glocken, which translates into blue bells. And you can really tell now, I just planted them and I ordered them online, but they really have a cute blue shade, and those are the colors that I'm longing for in this area. Really just like a nice relaxing moment. The first bearded iris is just about to bloom. We just missed it, but I want to do the video today because the tulips are still in bloom. So you always get to see a few things and not everything though. I've introduced phlox, I've introduced hosta. This is also a beautiful variety. It's halcyon, which has these wonderful bluish silvery leaves. So again, very cool in color. Last year, they, during summer, changed the color more into a green, which is fine. That was all right. At least now for this time of the year, there is this cool effect. And I think it's very nice color coordinated with the bluish leaves of the bearded iris in the back as well. You can see, you can really look under the terrace. So I still have to, well, kind of hide all of the ugliness which is going on there. So let's see what I'm going to do there. One more thing which I want to introduce is forget-me-nots. Those are, I think it's in English the same Caucasian forget-me-nots. Alexander's Great, that is a variety. I just found 2 here. I ordered more online, so I'm going to get, I think, 15 more, which I want to sprinkle through this area a little bit to kind of, well, forget-me-nots naturally for me give a cottage garden feel. I always try to plant them like maybe like clumps of 2 or 3 preferably if I have space. But since they are more a filler, I'm not quite sure if it works. But I think it will be really dreamy to have these light pale blue, beautiful forget-me-nots with the tulips. You're going to see a lot more of, well, I'm just going to step in here, of this variety. All-time favorite, Silver Cloud. You're going to see a lot more of those in the back there. And I got, oh, that was really not nice. I ordered 170 tulips of a variety called Bleu Aimable, which was supposed to be like a pale purplish tone. And this is what came, 170 in the back of the garden too. Luckily, I found somebody who wants to take them. So I will lift them, donate them, give them away for free, and hopefully they will make somebody else happy in the garden. But they are just not my color. And they just don't really make sense in this entire ensemble of my own spring garden here. But yeah, this is what happened here in this area of a garden. So let's continue, because I think that the island bed in the middle of the garden looks really cute at this time of the year, especially if you follow me into this direction. And then you can see really what the color scheme actually is. I'm relying on a lot of these like very pale pink tulips, like blush. That's a variety called Silver Cloud again. And they keep on going for weeks. I think this is week 3. That they are already in bloom at this point. And if you just look through kind of where you're standing, this entire area here, this is what I absolutely love. The Aquilegia just comes to bloom. It started off as, I think Flamingo or something was a variety years and years ago. I had a pack of seeds, I sown them. They're kind of a little bit of everything now. Luckily, most of them are really in the world of pink shades. Very dark tulip here. That is called Paul Skira, which is pretty much my favorite dark variety of a tulip. one Victoria's Secret left here. I planted these probably, I don't know, 12 years ago or so. Every now and then you see one popping up still, but at least they fit. I think that they still make sense. Funnily enough, if you have a look into this entire ensemble here, you see one orange tulip poking through, orange and pink, but I love this color combination. And the funny part is that for the terrace garden, which I'm going to walk you through in a moment, you won't see tulips on the actual terrace garden, but this is exactly the color combination that I want to have on the terrace garden. And I already have my wish list, and I thought, oh, this is very reassuring before I spend a lot of money for tulips, that I have this little accident here, and it just shows how beautiful it actually works. I wish I knew what this variety was, because this is exactly what I was longing for. Orange, but then pink. It might be Menton, maybe. I'm not sure. I think it's just a fabulous tulip combination. I'm going to dug it from here, and it finds its way onto the terrace garden. A lot of things going to come into bloom soon here. So we have the white geranium alba here, which all of these offspring. I had a few over there next to the garden shed, and then over the years I saw that they're just self-seeding here and there, and I always took some of them. I put them here, I put them in my rose garden, because I thought maybe they would even make cut flowers. So let's see. But very soon the garden really is going to burst into more and more color. If you just swing around here, you see that, well, this is mainly the autumn garden, so not too much going on at this time of year. I still think that I will change a few things. The problem is I put a lot of tulips in at one point, but the mice were faster than the tulips could grow sometimes. So over winter, the mice were just very hungry. So yeah, that's unfortunately what happens sometimes, right? Over here, luckily, tulips worked fairly well. And here you see right in the center a big bunch of those tulips that were delivered wrong. So I'm going to lift all of those, and next year I will replace them hopefully with the right variety, because I still want to have bleu aimable. More of the pink cloud here. I finally finished planting up the entire area here next to that little terrace with the fire pit. And it is nice to sit here. It's so warm here. And I think really, like last autumn, it was very beautiful, because here the temperatures, it is cooler than, I don't know, somewhere in Western Europe most of the time. It is like somewhere in Western, Southwest Germany or France or wherever. So having like this really dark basalt as a ground cover is really nice for autumn time, because after a sunny day, it just holds the warmth very nice and very long. So you can still sit here even though there's no direct sun here, which I really loved. So maybe something to considerate if you garden in a similar climate to what I do. So finally, a lot of new perennials came in. I've got Nortia now, I've got a sage, I've got phlox minnehaha, which I'm really excited about. Dahlias where you can't see anything. I totally forgot to put the dahlias into pots, so I just put them straight into the ground. Fingers crossed that this is going to work well this year. I did in the past and it worked perfectly fine, but they're in the ground now for I think 2 weeks, and still I can't see anything. That worries me a little bit though, that I really can't see a thing. But let's see, the temperatures are getting warmer, nicer now, so let's see what happens. Also here, I really love what the little path is doing here. One of the big changes that I did is I had, I think, initially 3 Miscanthus giganteum here, which are really ginormous. They were, I don't know, 3 meters tall, I would say. And when wind came in, at one point they just flopped over. They were everywhere, and they were really hard to handle for me at one point. I planted them, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, never divided them, never did anything, and now I pay the price. It took a full 2 days for me to lift those grasses, but I'm happy that they are gone at this point. The hedge, the yew hedge, really reached quite a good height. You can see that one of the yews, though, when I planted them, was labeled wrong, because one of them is totally different variety than all of the others. It is what it is. I'm going to try to fill it in, and then let's see. I think one thing that I lost too, I'm like, no, why, is this. I planted this last autumn. It's an albizia, which I absolutely love, because they have these really beautiful, whimsical pinkish flowers. And the guy said when you plant it, the first 3-4 years, it's a little iffy if it comes through winter, and you really have to protect it. So I mulched it a lot. I really made sure that the entire base is as protected as it possibly can be. It doesn't look too well though. No, I can't see anything. I'm not giving up yet, so I'm still hoping that it's going to work, but let's see what will happen. So my cameraman has his phone still switched on, and you might have heard like doodle doodle in the background, and now he's fishing out his phone, trying to mute it. Yes, this is what's happening. So if it's a little shaky, this is what is happening without you knowing what. Well, now you do. More phlox here. Phlox is just one of my favorite perennials in the garden. I have a couple of perennials that I really love. Phlox just always brings back childhood memories for me because my parents had quite a lot of them in the garden, and I also love the scent of them. Roses start to bud up finally. I'm so happy. This is a Canadian variety. It is a rugosa hybrid. It's very, very sturdy, very hardy. It has pink blooms, and yeah, I think it's going to be really a beautiful show this year. Hydrangeas, they all came through the winter. They all look really fantastic here. It's also a nice angle if you just like look through here, for example. I really like this entire angle which came up, and if you look through and then you see the garden shed, you can see a lot of green popping through everywhere here. These are all poppies. And they were, I don't know what variety it is. I collected seeds at one point next to a field, which I saw during summer, and I really liked the color. And then I just sprinkled it through here, and after after 2 years, this is what happens. I have them everywhere now. I thought, shall I weed them a little bit? But I'm like, you know what? They're not in everyone's way, and they're gonna flower before anything else is really gonna flower, come into life. So I think that this is gonna look really beautiful. If we continue walking here, you will see that the ground is not looking very pretty at the moment, so I still have to come in here, because initially there was lawn here, and the lawn never looked good because this is like the gateway to the terrace garden. And I thought, you know what, let's just lift it. I still have basalt, and I'm just going to swing the path around a little bit. So the basalt path is going to go right up here until here, and then onto the terrace garden. Here you still see the landscape fabric. There's so many projects still, so many things I still haven't come to. What I want to do is I build this terrace here, and I want to continue it with some steps so it all looks a little more nice and neat at this point. One tulip or one situation that I want to show you, I thought it's really cute. And again, a tulip that looked completely different in reality to what I ordered. This is Pink Diamond, and it was supposed to be in a cute blush tone. It's more apricot. It's really in its last days of blooming now. So it was way more apricot and orangey, but I thought actually what a lucky coincidence, because the fresh leaves of the blueberries are kind of in this rusted tone, in a little burnt orange apricot, and then these light apricot tulips just work perfectly with the blueberry. So I thought, well, actually what a lucky coincidence, and better to what I initially planned on doing. If you just look through there, I'm not going to walk there. This is the vegetable garden. This is one side of the terrace garden, which gets most of the sun, so it's really good for growing any kind of vegetables. Potatoes are in, you can't see anything. Strawberry bed is looking good. Little greenhouse, I put some chilies, paprika, and dwarf tomatoes in there. A second layer, I sowed some peas. I think the first ones are shooting, then broad beans. They always work perfectly. And then in pots, there are just like some runner beans, which are going to go onto the trellis very soon. The last layer, I haven't done anything yet. But one big change, which you might recognize if you follow my garden for a while, is all of this here. Because here used to be the compost heap. Last autumn, I came in, lifted the compost heap, like those parts that haven't broken down yet, put it into a different location, leveled everything out. I'm not done yet, but I think I really made a good progress in leveling it out and really continuing the terrace garden, which I think looks really cute already. I can't wait to finish it at this point. If we just walk down here, I also worked a lot on this areas here. So it initially started as like, oh, whenever I had plants left over, I just put them here and let's see. And it was a little milli-villi. It was like some pastel. Sometimes I had a little orange in here. Sometimes I had this. It kind of changed. And I thought, okay, I really want to have more of a theme for this part of the garden. So I took inspiration from Monty Don's Jewel Garden and really tried to focus on some more bold colors and some brighter colors in general. You already see the GM here, and in my back too, this is GM Mai Tai. Very beautiful variety. It is very orange here, surprisingly. I had it before in a different part of the garden where it was more pastely and apricot, but now it truly is more of an orange flower. Still beautiful rose, Lady of Charlotte, which is going to flower in a similar orange tone as well, fair enough. I've got sage, so sage caradonna. I've got Panacetum vertigo here. Here, a lot of people always comment and say, oh, it's going to grow to such a monstrous size. For me, it doesn't. For me, with this climate zone, it grows at most to this height. If it's a good summer, like last year, it was somewhere here. So it's really pending, but it does not grow like that tall as it does for people that really garden in a hotter climate zone. I think I really can show you more during summer, to be honest. Very soon we're going to have delphiniums here. I'm really excited about those. They look so cute already. I just planted them this year and I get 2 flower spikes here. I will get 2 on that too. That is Black Knight, which is going to be a very dark purple delphinium. A lot of pink phloxes there, some asters, some more dahlias. I got a buddleia there, some grasses. Really a lot of the pink phloxes in here. So let's see, fingers crossed, keep your fingers crossed for me that this is going to work out. Because this is the first time in my own garden that I do something with bold colors, and I really hope that it will be bold. Because normally I sometimes lean more into like cottage garden feel and a little more pastel-y. I might have some cherry reds and some dark asters, but in general, yeah, I do often have these cottage garden moments. It's sometimes funny because you don't see the cameraman, I do. I see the face of him walking backwards. The face says, don't trip, don't trip. If we just walk through here, you can really see how the progress on the entire terrace garden is. So if you just look here to the left, you can see all the progress that I made. This was all just compost. I leveled it out. There's still one terrace missing right in the middle of it. But I needed to do at one point the lower level because I had all these plants and I was like, they have to go into the ground now. This area here focused on a color combination of pastel yellow and soft pinks, which is something I really wanted to try out for a long time. I started a little bit last year. But this year, I think I'm on a good direction, I'm on a good path on how to make it work. I really wanted to show you tulips, so let's just do it. This here is a variety called Avant-Garde. It starts off a little more yellow and now it fades away into creamy white tone still. A little bit yellow on the base. No playing with Alfie. Give me the ring then. Sorry. Because if you throw, it shakes. It is a double, and for the double, it's quite a tall double variety because a lot of the double tulips, they always stay on the shorter side, which I think this is really a cute variety. Big blooms as well. Narcissi, to be honest, I bought them at Lidl at the discounter supermarket. No, I'm not going to throw the ring now. Yeah, but those are primulas, and I don't know what variety it is. You can show it still. They are primulas. They're cute, but I bought them here in a garden center. And in Poland, often when you buy something, it's just labeled kwiaty rabatowe, which basically means flower for a border. Yeah, genius, right? I mean, that really gives a lot of information to me. So I bought it, flower for the border. Tulips, beautiful variety. They came to bloom first, so they already fade away a little bit. They are a little bit more how the color initially looks. So they fade away more pastely and they are a little more bold in the beginning. This variety is called Bella Blush. And I really love this variety. It has like a bluish dark center, which sometimes I don't like that much, but here I don't mind it. I actually think it's really pretty because you can even see it shining through a little bit from the outside. Big blooms, long stems, fantastic cut flowers. I'm definitely going to plant a couple more of those next year. Another example of kwiaty rabatowe is this one here. I found that at the hardware store in the garden section. And again, not labeled properly. Another GM, but I thought this is the perfect GM for this area. I mean, pale yellow, pale blush, perfect, exactly what I wanted to have. So I bought 3 of those, completely unknown variety. Well, sometimes you just have to appreciate the beauty, I guess, without actually really knowing what you planted. I changed some of the wattle fences here because after 3 years, the old ones, they were really brittle and not looking good anymore. So these are all pretty new. I did all of those in, I think, December time, before the snow started, definitely. If we just continue walking, you see this is like my rose garden slash cut flower garden area here. And I really think this year it comes together pretty well. I'm really happy about it. Let's start with tulips and let's start with narcissi. There was one narcissi here, I hope I remember in the editing that I put a photo in, which was called British Gamble. Big blooms, it had really lovely apricot colours in it. So really, I think my favourite, absolute favourite narcissi at this point. Early tulips was light and dreamy, which was beautiful. You can't see them too, but so now we have the later tulips. This one here, another double, very pretty, unfortunately shorter stems. This is Katinka, but again, absolute fantastic, cool pink. It would also work in the upper garden with the variety called Silver Cloud. So I'm kind of thinking if I'm going to buy a few and also put them in the upper garden. Here in the back, Black Parrot, which I think is such a fantastic tulip for cut flowers. I really like parrot tulips, but this one here I think is especially beautiful if you just look at the flowers. Very long stems too. They make just the most beautiful tulips for your vase. In the back, I tried these out completely new this year and I'm definitely going to plant more next year again. Crunchy Cummings, how intriguing are these flowers if you look at them? Completely frilled out with a wide-edged trim around it. And even here you have these little quirky spikes coming out at the middle of the petal. Beautiful color. Again, fantastic cut flowers, and I think all of these, how they stand here, just make incredible good cut flowers. Again, this is a variety that I already shown you up there. Paul Skira. Here you see how tall they grow when the soil is a little more moist, because in the island bed it's a little more dry soil and here it's more moist. They are so tall, they are at least 50 centimeters or 60 I think. Absolutely love them, and you can see even in the light now, they are truly more purple, because I love Queen of Night as a variety too, but Queen of Light in the light is more reddish, and this one is a true aubergine purple. So this is why personally I prefer this variety. A lot of roses are in here, and a lot of roses are bound to come. A lot of the roses, well, they kind of suffered during winter time a little bit because it was so cold, so I had to cut them back harsh, but they're all coming back to life really well. So here, David Austin Rose, Queen of Sweden. Last year it was triple this size, but has plenty and plenty of flower buds already. Really cute. Then here, the peonies. This one is a little smaller. The other one looks better if we just like look to the other side there. And you already see the arms here on the flower buds. But I did this little support system for them where I just like put some well, sticks in the ground and just like a wattle fence technique basically all the way around it so that they don't flop over, because this is a double variety and when they open they get very heavy, and I think like this at least they do have a support, which is beautiful. Some of the stems even have like 2 or 3 flower buds on them. Can't wait for them to open. I think this is really going to be beautiful with the Aquilegia here. Again, the white geranium that I had in the upper garden. Oh, it's already in bloom here. First one is in bloom. A little pinkish here. How funny is that? Very, very beautiful. Yeah, so this is, I know, just a small part of a garden, but I think that it is really beautiful, really pretty. I'm just going to walk around you now, I guess, right? How do we do that? Yeah, you just swing around. Okay. So again here, all of this will be in this color scheme of like the pale yellow and the pale pink. This is also really pretty GM. This is pink fluffy or fluffy pink. Oh, when it's 2 words, I always mix it up a little bit. I think it's pink fluffy. They are a little bit on the apricot side, though, I have to say. But still, I think it fits exactly well into the color scheme, what I want to have here. Phlomis, this is already going to bloom very soon. Phlomis is a plant that everybody says like, oh, it's for dry conditions. It can cope with dry conditions, but here it's a little more damp in general. And the Phlomis absolutely loves it. It grows so much better here than it did anywhere where I tried it in a dry condition, to be honest. More phlox here, more iris. Yeah, and then it just repeats itself a little bit. I'm just going to continue here. Unfortunately, oh, this was so sad. My standard hibiscus didn't make it through winter. I really loved it. It had pink flowers, but yeah, last winter was just too much for it. So again, this one has to go, unfortunately. Very, very sad about it. I have a second hibiscus in the upper garden and that made it. So that is good. That was it. I hope that you enjoyed this little garden tour with me. I tried to make it quick so the video won't be like 1.5 hours long. And I really tried to give you updates throughout the year this time, where I am, how things are progressing, so you really get to see how the garden evolves in general. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, you can always just say hello on my Instagram account. I'd be very happy if you do so. And hopefully I will see you very soon here. So take care, guys. Bye.